Do you enjoy going out with your friends, having a drink, maybe some cannabis to relax where it's legal? Okay, great. You have the right to do that. It's a free country. I'm attorney James Fifelski, and I've been a criminal defense attorney for more than 16 years. I want to give you 5 helpful tips that after practicing with hundreds, if not thousands of people who have been arrested and charged with DUI for alcohol or drugs, I think can be very helpful to help you avoid a DUI arrest. Number 1. Get a ride. It's the easiest piece of advice I can give you that will help you avoid being arrested for drunk driving. It is simple. It will cost you $25, $35 for an Uber or a Lyft. It will be free if you get a friend or a family member to drive you home. If you are doubtful about whether you're intoxicated, be it marijuana, be it alcohol, or any other kind of drug, simply get a ride, and that way you will be guaranteed to avoid being arrested for driving under the influence. Number 2, sober up. It might seem obvious, but if you take 10 to 15 seconds after you've been hanging out with your friends to just check yourself before you get on the road, before you get behind the wheel of a car, how do I feel? Do I have control of my faculties? Can I think coherently? Can I walk an imaginary line if I had to? If you don't feel like you can do that, take some time to sober up. There is no harm in spending an extra hour or 2, whether it's at a restaurant or a bar, or even just sitting on a park bench, to get yourself to a place where you will be much more confident and safer and less likely to be over the legal limit or under the influence of some drugs. So take some time to sober up. Number 3. If you decide to get behind the wheel of a car and you feel comfortable to drive home or to drive to wherever you're going, if you make that choice, you better be able to also make the choice to drive carefully. You don't know how many people I've seen who've been pulled over on the way home from having a good time because they were speeding 15 over in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Come on, get some common sense. If you're going to drive home after you've had a good time, okay, as long as you check yourself, you feel like you're sober enough, at least be more conscious when you're driving, follow the traffic laws, stop completely at a stop sign, stay within your lane of travel, and you are much less likely to be noticed by a police officer to pull you over in the first place than if you're driving erratically or carelessly or blowing through stop signs. Number 4. If you get pulled over, if you're driving down the road and you've got some alcohol in your system, you might have some cannabis in your body, and you see those flashing red and blue lights behind you, you pull over, you get your driver's license, your registration, your proof of insurance ready in your center console or on your lap, you put your hands on your steering wheel and you wait for the officer to show up and talk to you. As soon as you talk to that police officer, you show respect. It's very simple. That police officer has a badge, a sidearm, handcuffs, and a patrol car, and you don't. I'd be no different in that situation. Show respect for the office of police officer, male or female. Show respect, and you are going to help yourself in tremendous ways. Show respect. Go through the process. Don't be an idiot. It's going to help you, and it will help you avoid an arrest. 5th and final point. Once you are at the point of being investigated by a police officer for suspected DUI or drug driving, whether it's alcohol, cannabis, some other drug, remember this phrase: less is more. Keep it simple. When you're talking to a police officer, you have the right to remain silent Although you also want to have some common sense and be cordial and be able to engage in a rational conversation with an officer so as not to tip him or her off that you are under the influence or you have something to hide. But at the same time, keep in mind, you are not the one running the investigation. You are not the one who's going to decide whether you get arrested or not. That only belongs to the police officer. So wait and listen for questions before you say something. Don't go on some rant that you are still upset about being pulled over 10 years for a speeding ticket when you shouldn't have been. Keep it simple. Less is more. Let the police officer do his or her job. They're professionals. Most of them are respectful. When you show respect and you wait for a question or you wait for guidance, you take it one step at a time, not only will you be able to think more clearly, but you're not going to get ahead of yourself. You're not going to get confused. You're not going to get frustrated, or at least there's a lot less chance that those things will happen. And then you're going to look more obviously drunk or under the influence of some drug. These are 5 tips. This is basic education 101 for DUIs. This is not legal advice because everybody's situation will be much different in terms of specific nuances. So just keep these 5 tips in mind, and especially number 1, if you just simply get a ride, you're not going to have to pay thousands of dollars to an attorney like me to help you out. But if you keep yourself in check and you go through this chart, every time you decide you're going to go out with friends, again, it's great. Go have a good time. Just be smart. Keep your head on straight. Have some common sense, and you're going to be much happier at the end of the day.